It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. We are so happy to have you. It is a Tuesday afternoon back in the studio here. Scotty Swingler riding shotgun. A lot to cover today, 2 days after the Oklahoma City Thunder were crowned champions of the NBA. A trade overnight. It's clear now that the Celtics are sort of breaking things up. It's wild, too. So we had the Celtics win a championship last year, right? And I want everybody to keep this in mind, me in particular. And everyone's talking about Brown, Tatum, amazing coach, Joe Mazzulla. This is so exciting. The Celtics dynasty, okay? That was a year ago, right? Scotty's laughing. This morning, they are breaking up the dynasty, right? 360-some days after they had won a title. And Drew Holiday is going to Portland. That trade really alleviates a lot of pressure on the salary cap, gets them below that second apron, the Celtics, so they're able to maneuver and possibly figure out what they're going to do without Jason Tatum for the better part of this year. That's what we're expecting at least. So that's something just to keep in mind there. It's super interesting when you think about how captive we all get, myself included, right? Because it's a marathon, man, for these teams to put dynasties together. Certainly, the table is set for Oklahoma City. Their top 9 scorers return next year, but they're in the West. There's a lot happening. It's an exciting time to be a Thunder fan, but I would just live in the present, enjoy this year's celebration, and leave the dynasty talk to schmucks like me, right? Live in the moment. The Pete Sousa Show is presented by Slovacics. Of course, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers. Sikora Family Ford has been so key in our climb here. More than 40,000 subs. I think we're up to like 42 this morning. Yeah, Scotty's giving me the head nod. That's so awesome. So just like, subscribe, hang in there with us. I hope you enjoy the ride and have enjoyed it as much as we have. Rough start for my morning. I went to the dentist at 8:30. I'm expecting to get I got this tooth back here that's been missing for a while, but I actually have the tooth. It's not missing. It's just missing from my mouth. And it came dislodged right around Memorial Day. Of course, that's how I roll, right? Give me like 3-4 weeks. I'll get around to it. And then I went to the dentist this morning, and it turns out that I have to do an extraction and get an implant. And let me tell you something. The folks at Waco Dental, man, they take good care of you. That's just all I'll say. Dr. Martin over there does a great job. But I will say, if anyone's curious as to why homeless people walk around without teeth in their head, well, it's because it's expensive to go to the dentist. Remember that. Take good care of your teeth, kids, right? Somebody with great teeth is Sophie Cunningham. And we have seen a lot of Sophie Cunningham over the past week. Last Tuesday, it'll be like this last week has been, I wouldn't call it the best week of her life because I don't know Sophie Cunningham, but you could call it the most productive week of her life. We know the scene. Last Tuesday, Fever, Connecticut Sun, Caitlin Clark, getting the business, right? J.C. Sheldon, Marina Mayberry, and finally late in the game, Sophie Cunningham does what all Caitlin Clark fans have been waiting for someone to do. They stuck up, or she stuck up for Caitlin Clark, and just threw Sheldon into the floor. It was maybe an ugly moment, but also an inspiring moment and a fun moment. And it's certainly led to a ton of WNBA talk and a ton of Sophie Cunningham talk. So, people are like, why are you talking about this? Actually, nobody has said, why are you talking about this? I think people are interesting. What's Bear the Truth saying right now? Is he asking why we're talking about this?
He's giving you props for your transition.
Oh, he is? Thank you very much.
Transition of champions.
Thanks, Brian.
Props for the wordplay today.
Brian, by the way, we're going to get to some Baylor football. We're talking about where Baylor football and their players were ranked on the EA Sports College football game, which is coming out in weeks. But back to the Caitlin Clark and the Sophie Cunningham thing. People talk about what's the interest. Well, there is a ton of public interest in Caitlin Clark and the WNBA right now. And why? Well, because it has it all. It really does. It has, first of all, that's one of the reasons why we love talking about dynasties, because it's elite, right? Elite. We love elite level things. We love watching people perform and do things that no one else can do. That is why, and we've talked about it on this show, players, actors, certain types of professions are able to command such a high cost of living, are able to demand so much money, right, that contributes to their high cost of living and lavish lifestyle sometimes, because they can do something that nobody else can do. So Caitlin Clark can do that, right? There's also infighting within the league. Is Caitlin Clark getting respect? Is she not getting respect? There's a lot of voices now, and some of it can get really ugly. At some point this week, I may read some of the messages that we have gotten on the heels of our Caitlin Clark talk, and it's been pretty crazy. I mean, I love the attention. I love that people are watching. I love the passion. Please, bring it on. Light me up if you want. Just keep watching. It's a lot of fun if you keep watching for everybody. But there's so much drama and interest in this situation. So the public is interested in it. I am genuinely interested. The Fever played the Storm tonight. I will be watching that game, okay? And it reminds me almost, because the WNBA is somewhat under the radar. When I was really young, UNLV was making a run. They were playing on the West Coast. I forget what conference they were in. It was the year they lost to Duke in the semis. But it's not like they were on national TV every night. But if you did a little bit of looking, you could find them, or you could get the score, or you could see the highlights, because it wasn't like the Stone Age. We'd moved into the 90s. But every morning it was like, what did UNLV do last night? What did Jerry Tarkanian and his boys do last night? They were so prolific, so exciting. Now, the Fever have not been as dominant this year, but they are literally a traveling circus, right? In the best of ways. And Sophie Cunningham, a big part of that. And the traveling show rolls into Seattle tonight. And they have lost 2 straight, by the way. Caitlin Clark struggling, 1 of 17. But the Caitlin Clark effect, and the effect, or the impact, I should say, that Sophie Cunningham sticking up for Caitlin Clark, it has affected Sophie Cunningham financially to the nth degree over the past 7 days. Look no further than, Dave Portnoy has a great interest in the WNBA, and he loves Caitlin Clark, and he feels, he's got some seriously sharp opinions as to why the officiating in the WNBA needs to improve, why Angel Reese is a nobody, right? And Caitlin Clark is such a superstar. Yesterday, Joy Taylor went out and said that the only reason that people really know about Caitlin Clark, to the degree that they do, is because of the viral moment she had in college with Angel Reese. Now, that's 100% false, in my opinion. It is in Dave Portnoy's opinion as well. He was talking about that and the fact that Caitlin Clark, deserves more respect from the officials. But, along this ride, you see Sophie Cunningham last week get into that tussle. She's now, all of her jerseys, you cannot get a Sophie Cunningham jersey at the Indiana Fever team store online or in person until July 8th, I read. Okay. Portnoy made those T-shirts, Barstool did, about the 3 girls right now. I forget the other one's name. Do you know the other one's name? Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark. I'll look up the other ones here in a second. But it's an exciting time, right? And so when you see what Caitlin Clark is doing for the WNBA in general, financially, for TV ratings, Sophie Cunningham, and this is a Sportico, it's a sports marketing company, has reported that over the past week, Sophie Cunningham has has the expansion of her brand, okay? Her Instagram followers, plus 245,000, right? So now she has 750,000 followers on Instagram. TikTok, plus 700,000 followers, right? Since this incident. So now she has 1 million followers. The growth of her brand, when you look at just those numbers, right, and social media, this is as reported by the sports marketing company, is valued at around $1 million. Now or evaluated, I should say. $1 million, like that growth is worth $1 million. That is being in Caitlin Clark's orbit and just being yourself. If you're Sophie Cunningham, she didn't go fishing. She has been below the radar. She's playing her game as a member of the Indiana Fever and doing what most basketball players consider second nature, right? Sticking up for your teammates when the going gets tough. And it's weird, right? Like they say, karma comes around. Well, this is the best kind of karma. It's the Caitlin Clark karma. And will line Sophie Cunningham's pockets, at least in the immediate future, and maybe for longer than that. But you've got to be excited if you're a WNBA fan about all the attention it's brought you. But there is, like, literally, there's money to be made around all this. And it all goes back to Caitlin Clark, who continues to have a low profile, who continues to, the way that she handles herself overall is very, very cool. I had some issues last week, and I know in these post games, these players get frustrated, right? But in the post game last week, after the Sun game, her coach is talking, and you can see a little bit of, there's a little obnoxious behavior, right? Caitlin Clark is not talking because Stephanie White, her coach, didn't want her to kind of interject herself in the situation and get fined. So she was taking all the heat and doing most of the complaining about the officiating in the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark was kind of making faces. So she's allowed to be human, right? Like that moment, I was like, could have been a little better. But whatever. Caitlin Clark is amazing. She's pretty much, I couldn't write a better script. Her play on the floor will continue. She's going to have to snap out of it here soon. She's made one of her last 17 threes. I think she's played in 5 of her team's last 13 games. So that is a situation where when she gets up to speed health-wise, hopefully she'll be better production-wise. But that game tonight, you can watch at 9 p.m. It's going to be on NBA TV, 9 p.m. Central Time. So very much looking forward. I'll be watching. What can I say? I will be watching. And Sophie Cunningham will be making some money. But when you look at the marketplace in sports, and athletes have to work so hard, right? Especially female athletes, because we just know women's sports doesn't get the attention that men's do. But you have to work so hard to increase your popularity, your footprint. And there's Sophie Cunningham. She did it just by being herself and being in Caitlin Clark's orbit. It's a pretty cool place to be. I've always thought about, and this is another thing that you could see happening in the WNBA is free agents and good players that have a head on their shoulders, right? Like, why wouldn't you, if you can, why wouldn't you want to play for the Fever, right? And be in Caitlin Clark's orbit, and allow yourself to maybe make more money, right? Maybe expand your brand. I think you could see a lot of that happening. And I think what you could also see here over the next, let's see, 5-6 months or 3-4 months, is the WNBA soaring in popularity. The NBA season is finished. I think the Fever will have to improve a little bit, right? Because right now they're at 6-7, and they're playing the Seattle team tonight that's 9-5. So that could be 6-8 real quick. So there'll have to be an improvement, but they improved over the course of last year too. And again, I believe Caitlin Clark coming back from this injury will certainly change things. Tomorrow night, the NBA draft. We are really looking forward to that. We're going to have Paul Biancardi join us tomorrow. Another financial thing that I heard yesterday, that when you acquire the first round pick, especially in a year like this one, where you get a Cooper flag, right? That, when we stick to money in sports and sports business, that improves the economy of your organization by $500 million to $1 billion. Just having that pick, right? How amazing is that? And that is the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night will seal the deal with Cooper Flag and bring him to the Mavs. And so the Mavs now, once again, right, have another meal ticket. They've got another, potentially, not to the level of, right, but you've got like Caitlin Clark potential here. It's talk about a stroke of luck, right? And talk about like Nico Harrison, like Scotty, you still hate Nico, right? I want to bring Scotty in real quick. Hate is a strong word, but you're still not a Mavs fan, right? So I do want to ask you this on
hate is not a strong word. I hate, I think, 3 people in the entire world, because I am generally not a hater. I love people. I do hate him. Yeah.
You hate Nico?
Yeah. Unequivocally.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
I say as I'm wearing my like very religious shirt.
I know, right? Yeah. But that's the best part about this, and I love Bill Simmons. It's a sports hate, right? Let's get that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's sports.
Don't
hate.
want any
It's a
harm
lot
to
of fun.
actually befall
Yes,
the person. Yeah,
it's sports hate. So tomorrow night they're going to draft Cooper Flagg with the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, and it's going to be exciting.
Yep.
Again, we're going to talk to Paul Biancardi more about that tomorrow. We'll get into the X's and O's and all of the players and stuff. But like right now, when they draft Cooper Flagg tomorrow,
Yep.
how do you anticipate the feels? Like, will you still? First of all, will you watch the draft?
Yeah, I'll
a no.
probably turn it on. Yeah.
You'll turn it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll probably like more background watching
Yeah.
than active watching, but I want to see where VJ goes. Obviously,
sure.
the Baylor guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll probably have it on.
Okay, so when Cooper Flagg is selected by the Mavericks with the first pick, that will do nothing. And you're representative of a lot of Mavs fans. That will do, or former Mavs fans.
I think it's going to be a very
real talk, dude.
I know. I'm trying to give you a sincere answer. You did not warn me this was coming today, so I'm trying to give you.
This is life,
I'm
Scott.
trying to give you a sincere answer. It will be very emotionally dissonant because I can understand the excitement.
Yeah.
I will not be excited. I will just be sad.
Still.
I'd rather have Luka. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Who would I rather have for the next 10 years? I mean, 10 years from now, we might say, man, Cooper Flagg. But like today, who would I rather have for the next 10 years? Luka.
Yeah.
I know what Luka is. Like, you know
Very
what I mean?
true. Yeah.
So, and I did. You said I'm representative of a lot of Mavs fans. I appreciate that. I saw an MFFL branded Twitter account the other day was like, I'm shocked by how many Mavs fan I'm talking to who still won't come back if we get Cooper Flagg. And I retweeted it with the GIF of Taylor Swift going, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." Like, that's me. Yeah. Like, no, I told you when it happened and I meant it.
Yeah.
When Nico's out of the building, I might come back. But I will also probably keep rooting for Luka until he retires.
Okay.
Because he got shafted in the whole deal. Yeah.
All right. He's playing for the Lakers. I don't know if he got shafted.
Bro, he lost over $100 million. He got shafted. And also, the emotion, you can see it in every interview he does, even to this day. He wanted to be in Dallas. The emotional, like.
I think he's moved on.
I think by now he probably has as well, but like.
I hope so.
There were months where every time they asked him about it, you'd see his countenance fall, his voice drop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just bought a house there. Like, yeah, I thought I'd be there forever.
He was really upset.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, even like, did you see Draymond Green a couple weeks ago?
I did not.
In
no.
his interview, who was he talking to? Oh, on Jimmy Kimmel. Draymond Green went on Jimmy Kimmel like a week or two ago. And Jimmy Kimmel asked him, like, what was your reaction when Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers? And he said, my reaction was, then I'm sure as hell going to get traded because nobody's better than Luka. Like, I mean, it really, there's never going to be another thing like it. It's so weird, but I'm going to get in my feels. I miss Luka.
Scotty Swingler, folks. By the way, you can catch him playing music next week on the Zach Owens Show. What day is that?
July 1st. It's a week from today.
July 1st, a week from today on the Rogue Media Network.
Zach Burke's going to have to get you started
We
up here.
will continue. Oh, Zach will be with me? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because
right?
I'm gonna be playing the guitar. Also, Spotify, Scotty Swingler. You can find some songs there too.
Hey, the boy's legit. The boy's good. The boy's good. All right, the Pete Sousa Show continues on the other side of the break. I'm going to talk to you about why the Big 12 has so helped BYU football completely, and BYU sports do a complete 180 in the court of public opinion and also in the eyes of recruits. Pete Sousa Show coming back.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
The Pete Sousa Show continues right now. We're presented by CFB26, and we are so happy to be with you on this Tuesday here, coming to you live from Central Texas. Big interview later on today. We're going to tape it. We have a doctor out of the Dallas area who is going to catch up with us, and we're going to chat a little bit about, with Baylor, Scott, and White, by the way. But we're going to talk about Achilles injuries to top-flight athletes and why they keep happening. There's got to be some reasoning for this. At least that's how I feel. But I don't know, what I don't know, which is a lot. And when it comes to medicine, very little. I know what an Achilles tear looks like, just like you do. But I'd love to find out a little more about what causes them and why they keep happening to players like Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum, and Tyrese Halliburton. So we're going to talk about that. We should have that for you tomorrow or maybe Thursday, just with the draft being Wednesday night. We'll probably go pretty heavy on that. College football, we are headed down the stretch, right? Rankings for players were released, some of which were released yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about Baylor's rankings, where they fall. Big 12 Media Days coming up in about 2 weeks. We are in that time of year, that time of the media cycle. I talked about Caitlin Clark, by the way, and how there is a lot of public interest in the Caitlin Clark story, and I gave all the reasons why. Football, college football, media days, and this is back when I worked in PR, in basketball. Media days were kind of a circus, but it was one day, like working in the NBA, media day was one day, and it was crazy. But you would set up like a big kind of gauntlet for players to go through, with every different media outlet that would want to come to media day. But it was mostly for like newspapers and some local national TV, and some, photography, really. Now you have 2 days of these media days, and there are so many outlets. Like, I know the coaches don't love it, right? I heard Wes Durham and Rick Neuheisel talking this morning on Sirius College Radio on that show Full Ride, which is really good. And Neuheisel was talking about, hey, like we would go play golf, go to a meeting about the point of emphasis of the college football season with officials. And then we would do like a quick round and we would be gone. We'd go back home. And there are so many different media outlets out there now. And there is such a thirst for this content. Like, it's not a waste of time that these guys have to do it for 2 days. And the coaches understand that, but there's just so many outlets now that people take in, including this show, including, there's so many great college football shows out there. And there's also, you've got like rights partners for the Big 12, for the Big 10, for the SEC, for the ACC, the list goes on. But there are these rights holders that are in bed with these conferences that want to make sure they get their money's worth, right? And they're going to. So I look forward to all the pageantry and all the fun stuff that comes out of college football media days. But like, I too can remember when it was like a cup of coffee with a coach and a player, and everybody went home and we still got more excited. Now it's a lot different. BYU, as they head towards their media days, right, which will be not too far from now, I think, in Frisco, they have major questions, man, like around the quarterback position in particular. Jake Retzloff, the update is basically there is no update. I was listening to Mitch Harper he's BYU Cougars insider for KSL Sports, and he was on yesterday. He was on the JJ and Alex show, and he basically was like, look, I guess they had a media event yesterday. By the way, the media event that the Cougars had yesterday, reading about it, last year it was an event where they would play golf with members of the media. This year, the players kind of did their own thing. They were sort of separated from members of the media. Now, one could only imagine that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that, like, let's not expose these guys too much to the possibility of having to answer questions about Jake Retzloff or any of that stuff. I mean, that's what I would have done as a PR guy. But there's an elephant in the room here for BYU. And as they head towards, we're 60-some days away from Baylor kicking off against Oregon, right? BYU kicking off against Portland State versus Auburn. Sorry, did I say Oregon? Yeah. Well, that brings me to my next point, Scotty, because Oregon is in the mix for a quarterback, a 5-star quarterback who is going to make his decision today, on Tuesday. Ryder Lyons, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think he is ranked 5th in the overall quarterback rankings. He's 17th in the 2026 class overall. A 5-star quarterback, like I said, 6'2", from Folsom, California. This is a player that in the past, BYU football would be able to flirt with, right? Because he's an LDS guy, family member, a ton of which went to BYU. His brother plays tight end at USC right now. So that's kind of in the picture, especially as we move forward on a day like today. He's an extremely religious guy, takes his faith seriously. It's on the table that he'll quite possibly do a mission next year. So he may not actually be on the football field or in the quarterback room till 2027. So you have to look towards guys like Bear Bachmeier, right? Maybe to kind of hold the fork down until a guy like Ryder Lyons could come to BYU. And would he be the next coming of Steve Young? Now, that's the question. Now, the reason I mentioned the Big 12 and the fact that it really elevates the identity of BYU is kind of simple, right? Like, of course there's NIL. I mean, and that has opened the door for so many athletes around the country to get theirs, right? Maybe sometimes we look at it and we say more of theirs than they know what to do with. But hey, it's like we said in the first segment, right? The Caitlin Clark situation, Sophie Cunningham making money on her back. If there is a real public interest and someone can do something that nobody else can do, or they can command that value, that's it, man. You know, if you bring people to the table with your skill set, you're going to get paid. And we're seeing that now in college football too. Players are finally getting paid, and they're getting paid a lot. AJ DeBonsa is an example. The reason I bring him up right now, of course, because we're talking about BYU, but we're also talking about the Big 12 and its impact on the profile of BYU athletics, enabling them to open the door for players like Ryder Lyons and players like AJ DeBonsa. You sit down with a recruit, right? Especially a college football recruit, okay? Because in college basketball, you can say, hey, you come to the Big 12. This is one of the best conferences, if not the best basketball conference in America, right? Well, for the Big 12, you can say the same thing. You can say, okay, here we are. We have a seat at the table as far as the college football playoff is concerned, right? And now we're still in an environment where the Big 12 has the best quarterbacking class in the entire country right now coming in to play this season, right? Now, it may not be one of the most celebrated football conferences because everybody's going to have to go behind the Big 10 and the SEC. That's just life, right? But the Big 12 as a recruiting tool for BYU and an entree into the college football playoff and the opportunity to play against some of the best players, right, defenses, whatever you want to say, in the country to improve your draft status, it's hard to deny the fact that BYU, I would think, going into this afternoon where Ryder Lyons is going to announce where he's going to school, I got to believe, they say that BYU and Oregon are the top dogs right now, right? So you got Kalani Sitake and Dan Lanning on pins and needles the afternoon. I can guarantee Dan Lanning won't jump into a pool with them, but you get the idea. People are going to be really excited for this decision and for what is coming down this afternoon. And a lot of folks in Provo will be. I mean, BYU football, I think, has only had, like in the past 15 years that I can remember, like 2 5-star recruits, like play for the Cougars. I think that's accurate, right? So Ryder Lyons could be the answer to the quarterback situation of the future. As for right now, and just listening to Mitch Harper talk yesterday, and it's a reminder of, look, I think that BYU football will keep rolling, right? Without Jake Retzloff, because the defense, I believe, has gotten so much better. And again, you talk about the big play or the Big 12. I think their defense and that third year playing as a power program, the athleticism and the size continues to reflect and improve a reflection of exactly what a power program looks like in the Big 12, right? So, like, I think that defense has gotten better. We've talked about a lot of the transfers with Jake Hatch. There's a lot of positive things going on with the BYU defense. As far as offense is concerned, there's a gap, right, between Jake Retzloff and the rest of that quarterback room. Here is one opportunity that we could see, and this was kicked around a little bit yesterday. There's a possibility that someone else, not named Jake Retzloff, right, will start. And who knows whether that's McKay Hillstead, whether that's Trayson Bourget, we're not sure, right? But, like, there's a gap between them and Jake Retzloff. Now, there's a possibility that one of those two dudes starts, and then 4 or 5 games into the season or 3 games into the season, Bear Bachmeier takes over. And you've got a situation where it was like Tanner Mangum and Zach Wilson in 2018. So there's all kinds of possibilities for BYU. But the future is now as far as finding a way and the possibility of getting a 5-star recruit to Provo on the football field, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Scotty Swingler, let me ask you, as a card-carrying Baylor super fan, if the Bears,
Ooh, I like that. Let's keep that title.
If the Bears were in the conversation for a 5-star quarterback like Ryder Lyons, realistically, what kind of hopes would you pin to a prospect like this? By the way, this guy's got a podcast every Saturday.
Well,
called "Please Bear With Me."
During
starting the football season, right? Terrence Ganaway joins him.
I don't mean
Terrence
to
scored 5 touchdowns in a bowl
So,
game.
Pete, I am guilty of 2 things that seem incongruent, and I'm realizing my flaws as a sports fan live in this moment on YouTube. A, I always pin my hopes on incoming quarterbacks. I really get excited about recruiting.
It's one of the most exciting things.
It's so fun,
Yeah.
man. So, for instance, Baylor's 2026 quarterback's a guy named Quinn Murphy. He plays in a private school up in Dallas. He plays for Jason Witten.
Who's? Okay.
Yeah, and I have watched his tape obsessively. We have 4 really good quarterbacks on campus at Baylor right now. I'm ready for Quinn Murphy to get to campus. So I am a geek about it. I also, though, regularly look through all the 5-star quarterbacks from every recruiting class and remind myself, 2 of these guys were worth the hype.
We've done that before.
We've done that on the show before.
That's a frustrating
exercise.
exercise.
I don't mean to throw water on BYU. If they get this quarterback, that's legit. That's a huge win for them. And if I were a BYU fan, or if he was committing to Baylor, I would be absolutely juiced. I would be geeking about it.
Well, and another thing he does for BYU is the media side of it. This new brand of athlete, and even this young guy, you can all his ties to the LDS church. He had took his official visit, I think, last weekend at BYU. So they're the last ones to have an opportunity.
I'm gonna throw that photo back up.
They're the last ones to have an opportunity to pitch him. He's rolling around campus, and there was nothing arrogant about it, but it just is what it is in today's universe. He's got a crew. He's got guys filming him walking around, TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, we talked about AJ DeBansta's. DeBansta's. I said his name wrong. I'm so
you
sorry.
got it. So that 100% improves the profile of the school, right? Of the program, of the university. So the opportunity for a guy like that to sign with BYU, command that attention through social media, through all the different platforms he's a part of. It's really exciting for BYU. It takes you in to that same dimension that AJ DeBansa has just taken you into.
Yeah, that's what you texted me this morning that I think is difficult, and it's why I brought up the 5-star quarterback thing.
What's difficult?
Here's what's difficult. The key difference, I think AJ DeBansa is more important than this kid, even if he comes to BYU.
Okay.
As big as college football is, and here's why. AJ DeBansa could be a top 15 NBA player by all accounts right now.
Okay.
These basketball kids, there's every couple years, there's an 18-year-old LeBron and Kevin Garnett back in the day, AJ DeBansa right now, maybe even Cooper Flagg last year, who knows, who they're basically NBA ready, but now they've got to come play in college for a year. VJ Edgecombe's kind of that way. VJ could have jumped straight to the NBA.
Yeah.
We got him at Baylor for a year. So, whereas with a quarterback, even if you're 5 stars, and even if he lives up to being 5 stars, even if it's Trevor Lawrence or Andrew Luck or one of those level guys, there's a bit of a transition, and by no means are you an NFL caliber player when you're 18.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like maybe 3 years from now, this kid's impact could be that great or greater if he's that good. But as far as impact in 2025, 2026, AJ DeBansa could change the whole athletic department. If he's as good as advertised, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a different.
That splash.
It's just because the 2 sports are different.
Yeah.
And if you're that good of a basketball player, you can win a national championship by yourself.
Yeah.
It's not how football works, right?
No, not at all.
Dylan Raiola at Nebraska might be a great NFL quarterback one day. Nebraska may not win more than 7 games. Patrick Mahomes could barely get to a bowl game at Texas Tech, and he's the best player in the sport. So like, it's just different. It's just different.
Has the Raiola kid met the hype?
Not yet, but
No.
he's been good. Like, he's been very good.
I hope he meets the hype.
He's got all the athletic talent.
Yeah, I love his dad. Was a badass in Nebraska and in the NFL with Carolina.
Yeah.
And then I called a couple volleyball games where his sister was a player at TCU.
Yeah.
And she was great. So you got.
I mean, I'm loyal to a fault, so I keep hoping that Matt Rule's going to win the Big Ten. Most Baylor fans do not feel that way about Matt Rule.
Matt Rule.
Most Baylor fans do not feel that way. Most Baylor fans hope he sucks. I hope he wins the Big Ten. And then maybe Baylor can beat him in the playoff.
I have a couple friends who I won't give their names, but I'd be like, oh, because Matt Rule and I are from the same part of the country, and I'd be like, do you guys like Matt Rule down here? He's a little bit of a used car salesman. I'm like, come on, man.
I mean, he kind of is, to be fair.
He's the son of a preacher.
Yeah, but Scott Drew's that way too, and they are totally different people.
No comment. All right, the Pete Sousa Show. You might be right. Presented by Savage is coming back. We're going to stick with college football. We're going into some college football rankings. Let's talk about where the Baylor Bears and their skill sets ranked for EA Sports as we are breathing down the barrel of another college football. When's the game going to be released, Scotty? July 10th. Let's go. Almost a little over 2 weeks. We'll be right back. The Pete Sousa Show.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. At Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. BizChair.com. Your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kitbag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kitbag.
The Pete Sousa Show continues. I got to keep Scotty in his chair now because this topic we're talking about EA Sports and college football, and some of the rankings have been released. And I guess they just released more about Dynasty Mode this year for EA Sports and college football.
Yeah, they just put out the Dynasty Deep Dive like 40 minutes ago,
Yeah.
and as soon as we hit the outro on this, I'm watching it. I got to get into it, man.
So you play online,
yeah,
with your friends.
Yep.
And you have a Dynasty Mode. Then my only question, I admire it, and I'm sort of jealous. Are you all able to stay on top of it? And play the games.
So this is the first year we're going to do it because last year it wasn't cross-play. So last year you could only cross-play on like individual games. So we play the heck against each other like all the time, just like games. But Dynasty, for whatever reason, last year, I guess they just didn't develop it fast enough. You couldn't play cross-platform. Like I have an Xbox, they have PlayStation.
Oh,
whatever.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just didn't do it. So this is the first year that we're doing it. I did get nominated and elected to commission the Dynasty, so I'm on top of it. I kind of teased a couple weeks ago when I hosted the show. We went through a lot of debate and even an official Google poll to like determine how we were going to structure this. Right now, our plan is you just have to play 2 games a week. I think that's really manageable for anybody. And then, I'm so excited. I've shared this before. I'm excited to play against the guys, but we already do that. I'm really excited about Online Dynasty to recruit against them. And I'm going to be a jerk, dude. I'm going to go see I'm going to specifically see who they're going after and who I want to try to, like, swipe from them. And I have no doubt they will do that to me because that's what you do with your best friends. Like, you go try to screw each other over. It's going to be great.
It will. It sounds like a lot of fun. It also sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. But like, again, if it's 2 games a week, that's like an hour and a half every week. And then if you're recruiting, like, even if you're the most hardcore player of this game, like each week of recruiting shouldn't take you.
Just stay on top of your stuff. You have a beautiful young
minutes.
daughter. You have a job here. You're picking up more work. All right. Just you're running things at the road.
So I have to do something for fun, Pete, and this is what I'm doing.
All right, there you go.
By the way, we're
going
doing
to FC Dallas.
We're doing something fun on Saturday.
Yeah. We'll have an FC Dallas review. We're going to check out FC Dallas. First time for me. Taking Christy, taking Caden, and Scotty's going to roll. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so let's see some of these rankings, Scotty. You are not a fan of some of these, and I think, first of all, Sawyer Robertson getting an 88 is low, right? I don't like that at all.
So I'm not going to call it low until I see
the other
what
other
quarterbacks are ranked.
Yeah.
If the highest quarterback in the game is like a 92, then here, I'm going to reposition this so we can all see each other.
On that list, the most exciting part for me is Bryson Washington at 90. that really is like, okay, like the rest of the world.
That's respect. Yeah. And he's that good, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, he's worthy of that.
The Franklin Tornado. Do they call him the Franklin Tornado?
I don't call him
They should.
that.
I was here for the Franklin Tornado.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Keaton Thomas, obviously, getting some big respect. The most surprising to me was Josh Cameron being so high. I think I've heard, even amongst some of my friends, there's like this, Josh Cameron, like all-conference punt returner, but is he like a true dog number 1 receiver? And I've always said yes.
Dude!
My answer to that is yes. But I think he's so, like, he's not prototypical, right? And so I love.
What do you mean, like he's not long enough?
Yeah, like he's not particularly tall. Yeah. He's not the same build as you would see like a typical like number one receiver. But like that doesn't bother me. It's college football. Like the dude makes the catches, gets the yards after the catch, and scores.
I have
touchdowns.
a warning for defensive backs all across the Big 12. If it's the first time you're playing Josh Cameron, like you will be picking yourself up off the ground if you try to hit him over the middle. Right? Like literally. Like you want to talk about it.
And if you're trying to cover him on the outside, he is going to leave you in the dust at some point.
Yes.
And it's not just speed, it's route running, it's all of it. Like he's just good.
Josh Cameron is really a problem for the opposition because one, all the things we just talked about, and two, the dude, as good of a kid as he is, he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Hey, like, Scotty B just said that too. Scotty B says Josh outworks.
Yes, the guy was a preferred walk-on. But he was a walk-on nonetheless. And by the way, I can tell you that there were other opportunities this summer for Josh Cameron to go other places and to make a little more scratch. And guess what he did? He stayed right here.
Sick him.
If you can't get behind and root for Josh Cameron, I don't know who I'm talking to right now. But
some of my buddies.
Oh, yeah, some of your buddies. Yeah.
They root for Josh Cameron. They're like, oh, he's not a true number one. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Well,
you're out of your mind.
There's a lot of excitement coming into this year. And I think that, I do, if I'm taking off my rose-colored glasses and putting on my football ones, I kind of see the point that these guys are making, your friends. But at the same time, I believe that his, edge and grit will exceed
I just look
any
at this.
ceiling his physical ability.
And by the way, these rankings are not proof of anything because they had Daquan Finn ranked pretty highly last year, if we're being honest, right? Yeah, sure. But it is a testament to say.
Do you remember what his ranking was? DQ?
Like an 86, probably.
Really?
It was really high. It was really high. And again, so these rankings don't actually prove an argument.
No, you mean they won't make the guy play better?
It says that the scouts or the developers or whoever helps develop these saw Josh Cameron's tape and was like, oh my God, that's a great receiver, right? Like that's what that says.
Yeah.
The others that surprised me, Trevion Barnes at 87, the FIU transfer.
Okay.
That is very high. And it's very high because, too, my most intriguing comment Dave Aranda made at the conclusion of spring camp was he said, and I quote, Phoenix Jackson is the best player on this defense when healthy. That's the transfer linebacker from Fresno State.
Whoa.
He said the words. I had to listen to it again. I was like, he did not just say that. He said Phoenix Jackson's the best player when he's healthy.
Really?
So I think between Keaton Thomas, who proved it last year, all-conference, first-team all-conference last season, right? Keaton Thomas, Trevion Barnes, who's probably right now slated to start next to him, and Phoenix Jackson, who had a little injury in spring camp, but hopefully coming back. You've got three linebackers that can ball.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Obviously, you're replacing Matt Jones, but apparently the talent's there. I was pleasantly surprised. Dawson Pendergrass at 85. That feels really high to me. Dawson's a great player, but that's pretty high, dude.
Dude, if you look at his production as far as touches are concerned, he's pretty prolific.
I mean, obviously they agree with you. So by the way,
East Texas boy.
Let me just tell you how I play this video game. When I am playing with Baylor, I will run a custom playbook where we regularly run the triple option.
Okay.
Because it will be Dawson, it will be Bryson, and I'm gonna just put Caden Jenkins back there too, and we'll just run the heck out of the triple option.
What are your thoughts on Caden Jenkins?
Not Caden Jenkins. I'm so sorry. I said that because that's my next topic. Caden Knighton.
Yeah. Okay.
The freshman running back.
What Caden Knighton? What do you know about him? Tell me about him real quick.
4-star from Oklahoma City. He was the best running back in the state of Oklahoma last year. Came in early, played in spring camp. All reports from spring camp, Baylor fans are he's Treston Ebner. And if you were here when Treston Ebner was at Baylor, that's high praise. So a guy that's going to probably behind Josh Cameron, but be a returner, be a threat to catch a lot of passes out of the backfield, which I think next to Bryson and Dawson, that's something you need.
Yeah.
Because Bryson can, but that's not his number one skill. Dawson's not a threat, running a route. Caden Knighton is. And supposedly just that freaky, twitchy, athletic type of back. I can't wait to see him play. I can't wait.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Three-headed monster back there. Okay, I said Caden Jenkins because I got ahead of myself. Pete, as a Baylor fan, I am rooting for Caden Jenkins. I need Caden
Is
Jenkins.
he a
to be
sophomore or
great.
junior this year?
He's going
Junior.
into his junior year.
Yeah. He played as a true
As a
freshman.
true freshman, I think he had like what, 5-6 picks? Like,
yeah, he was Big 12.
all
Big 12.
American, freshman All American.
Yes. Yeah.
Last season, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I don't want to talk crap about the kid.
Yeah, of course.
Regularly targeted by opposing teams, regularly beaten by opposing wide receivers. I think squarely disappointing for fans who wanted to see more of what he did his freshman year. I hope it was a one-season anomaly. I hope there was an injury I didn't know about. Maybe it's just a mental thing. Like people have tough seasons. Like, that's fine. I was really surprised he's an 84, Pete. Really surprised he's an 84. I don't know. And this is where I'm like, I don't know what these EA guys are looking at. Maybe they didn't watch any tape from last season. They just looked at
Or maybe you look at a bio and you see freshman All-American.
Yeah,
Like
or they looked at
it's almost like a 5-star.
Like he was probably an 84. I think he was like an 83 and 84 in last year's game.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, we'll just like keep him around there. And I'm like, yeah, he wasn't the same player last season. Like,
No,
I might have him.
He had a rough go.
Like, I mean,
there was a lot of excitement.
Don't come at me, Baylor fans or Baylor players, but I mean, if I were ranking EA Sports Baylor players, most of these are pretty accurate, and Caden might be a 77.
Wow, really?
I mean, Pete, dude, like, well, that whole secondary struggled last year, and the pass rush struggled last year. So defending the pass was hard for Baylor last season.
Yeah.
It's not just Caden Jenkins. But, like, I felt like Snacks made some plays. I felt like some other guys rotated. Taz Williams, some other guys, not Taz Williams. I'm mixing up all my. Tevin Williams rotated and made some plays. Caden Jenkins got beat over the top a lot, Pete. He got beat over the top a lot. I'd be interested in what Cam. We should have asked Cam about this. Maybe we can have Cam back and ask Cam. Caden Jenkins got beat over the top a lot last year.
Well, and you could say, and this is a question for Matt Powledge and Dave Aranda, right? But, like, was he put in a situation to fail? And the reason I say that was
it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, did they put him on an island too often?
Yes.
Did they try to take advantage of his skill set and blitz, and it backfired?
And that's why I'm putting disclaimers on it. Like, I don't think he's a bad kid or a bad football player or whatever.
No, yeah.
But, like, last season was bad. Like, I think I can say that really safely. Like, it was a bad year for him. It was. He would tell you. I'm sure he would tell you that.
Okay.
But that's why they hired Paul Gonzalez.
Yep.
That's why I think they most aggressively chased safeties and pass rushers in the portal. I don't think he's going to have to be on an island. I think the safeties are better. I think the pass rush is going to be much better. Grayson Grundhafer's reported that as well. Grundhafer, sorry. I'm all my names today.
Grayson Grundhafer.
He's the man. But
he's very good.
We'll see.
It's exciting times.
I think we will know who Caden Jenkins is this year. And let's see. Prove the 84, man.
Well,
go be an 84. Let's go.
And this is college football too. We may find out when the first depth chart comes out before the first game of the season, right? If he's not like he may, you just never
One of those
know.
big oars next to his name.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of oars. but
Dave Aranda loves his oars.
He loves
on the
his
depth
oars.
chart. Yeah.
I remember. Drake Toll used to have the biggest issue with that.
It is annoying. If you're trying to cover a game, it's annoying.
You don't think I know I'm putting boards together before I do play-by-play for a game?
So you can admit it's annoying.
It's a little,
not just Drake that thinks it's annoying.
It's frustrating. Well, that's my point. I was like, I'm calling the game for ESPN. I'm a little annoyed, and I got Drake Toll losing his mind. I was like, well, Drake, like, I don't know. He would always get upset. He would say it was a reflection of where Baylor was as a program, which was not true. And I think Drake would tell you that.
Yeah, but it got him clicks.
Yeah, it's our guy, dude. I'm a big Drake Toll guy. I will be on. I was on Drake Toll Island on day one.
I was too, actually.
And I'll stay.
When he was calling China Spring football in 2020, 2021, I was like,
he's a pain in the ass.
This guy's good.
I sometimes wish, he would play by the rules a little more with sports information people. But hey, he's going to be himself, and that's worked for him. So.
Let's answer this question before we get out of here. Bear the Truth ask.
Yeah.
Any holes or issues you see in the Baylor coaching staff this year?
Oh, Scotty, he's always going after the coaches, dude. He is. I
any
see
feedback on that, Pete? What do you think?
No, because you mentioned Gonzalez. I think the retention level of the Baylor staff over the offseason was really good when you just think about Jake
Keeping
Spav.
Spav.
Yeah, I mean that's a number one thing. And I think the second year of Aranda being as heavily involved on the defensive side as he was last year can really only improve things.
Well, and yes, and bear the truth, I would tell you that is my biggest question mark, because I would have said before this year, you had to get better on O-line, you had to get better in secondary. Well, Mason Miller's great. That offensive line group from game 1 to game 12 last year progressed the most I've ever seen a group progress in a season. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it went from being the Achilles heel of the offense.
Omar Agbidian is one of the better
he was ranked
in the country.
He was ranked on those rankings. So Mason Miller at offensive line is a huge improvement. Keeping Spav and then Paul Gonzalez hire is going to be huge, I think, for that secondary. My question is,
they still have the running backs coach who's awesome, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. My question is, Aranda calling plays for the defense, I think is what he should do. I think it brought him alive as a head coach last year, in addition to, I think long-term it will make for a better defense, for sure. I have questions about Matt Powledge. And it's interesting because as someone in my position, all I hear about him from insiders is that he's amazing. People love Matt Powledge. He was a candidate to go be the head coach at Sam Houston.
Hard not to like, dude. I've sat down with him a few times.
What I know about Matt Powledge is he is an elite recruiter. Like, I know that some of these transfers we've gotten in addition to some of these high school kids that are committing right now. I mean, there's a big buzz in Waco. Like 3 different 4-stars from Waco have now committed to Baylor for next year's class. Powledge, huge hand in that. So I want him on my coaching staff. But it is interesting. He was the defensive coordinator. Baylor struggled. Not just his fault. That whole team struggled. He takes a back seat. He's still, I think, DC.
He is.
By definition, but he's not calling plays.
No.
So just to answer your question, bear the truth, I think that's probably a good sign that the thing I'm most worried about is the great recruiter who's kind of the DC who doesn't call plays is my question mark.
Well, that's why I'm with you. But that's why I made the statement I made, because I think that in the second year of, as long as I would hope after last year's production, right, they stay the same. And in the second year of that, like staying congruent, right, I think that will be really effective.
I think, and that is why, to conclude my remarks, I have been so bullish about this season for Baylor football. I cannot remember a time since 2015 where the personnel on the field, the personnel on the sideline, and the conference all seem to align where it's like Baylor should win this thing. I mean, it is. It's because Dave Aranda, as good as Dave Aranda's been in moments 2021, the turnover on staff has been unreal. Coordinators constantly, it's like a revolving door, right? So what you've pointed out, coaching staff being congruent all the way through. Your all-conference quarterback, your best running back in the conference, receiver, most of your defensive playmakers, 4 of your 5 offensive linemen. And, again, I don't think there's one team in this conference right now that is just going to run away with it. All those things aligning, if Baylor doesn't really make some noise this year, I'm going to be severely disappointed because all of those things should mean you're right at the top.
And you can hear all of Scotty's heartbreak on Please Bear With Me, a Rogue Media podcast.
And potentially another show I'll tell you more about soon.
All right, that's it. The Pete Sousa Show. We'll tell you more about the draft tomorrow. We're going to be with Paul Biancardi from ESPN. VJ Edgecombe probably going number 3 to the Sixers. A lot of excitement around that. I say probably. That's where I would put him as a VJ fan and a Sixers fan. But we'll find out all about that tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovakia.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.